All right, welcome to the Fantasy Football MBAs. That stands for matchups, breakdowns, and analysis. And we are helping you graduate the fantasy football champion. We are in, what is this now? Week nine?
Week 9.
Week nine. That's right.
9.
So we're going to hit you guys with the starts and sits. It's your boy Steve here, and I am joined by.
As always, T. Campbell in the house.
All right.
Eric J, what up?
All right, yeah. So it's week 9. As y'all know, those familiar with our format, we typically do 2 parts every week of the starts and sits. So this is part 1, and let's go ahead and get started because I know some people might be trying to play catch up who went against Devontae Adams last night.
Yeah.
So that was rough if y'all were one of those people. Or old boy for the 49ers, what's his name? I forgot.
that guy. Yeah,
that guy who came out of nowhere and got 184 yards and a touchdown I don't even remember his name. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and get started with the Denver Broncos going up against the Atlanta Falcons. For this game, I like the Falcons pass catchers. I like Matt Ryan in this game. The Broncos, they're more of like a funnel type of defense. They try their hardest to limit the run so they can get you to pass. And I think that does make them susceptible to elite passing offenses. And I would put the Falcons somewhere around that category. Maybe not elite, but really,
Right.
really good. In fantasy terms, you can say that. Keep an eye on Ridley. His status is up in the air, but I think he does play. If he plays, you got to start him.
Absolutely.
So Gurley, I still think Gurley is a good pickup for this game as well because he's going to get the opportunities. He's going to get the goal line opportunities. I would still like to see him utilized more in the passing game, but whatever. I guess they got enough options as it is.
Yeah.
I also like the Broncos pass catching options. They showed us a little something last week. I was really down on this offense. I just didn't know. I didn't know about Drew Lock, but they made a little comeback against the Chargers last week, and as we know, the Chargers are Atlanta Falcons West. So I'm expecting some production there. So I think Jerry Jeudy and Tim Patrick. I like those guys. For running back, man, I think we have a timeshare. With Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay. But unless you have some better options, I think you can try to start. I would prefer Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay. I think that is if you don't have better options. I mean, you got Joe Mixon, you got Kareem Hunt, you got Darrell Henderson or whoever the Rams running back is, and Miles Sanders whenever he's playing. All of those guys are on a bye, so you may have to start Philip Lindsay. I think he might be in.
I am.
You do? You have to start Philip.
Absolutely. All in on Lindsay.
Yeah.
Man,
All in.
the injury situation with my running backs and receivers, so I definitely got Lindsay going, but he actually, I think he's averaging like 5 or 6 yards a carry.
No, he's looked pretty good.
My only thing is he's just like so small. Like
Right.
I just feel like if he gets hit the wrong way, like you could lose him in the third quarter. So I'm just hoping that he can just last the whole game.
Them Falcons, they be hitting too. They be taking people.
And for that reason, I don't like Jerry Jeudy in this game. He hasn't. Obviously, he doesn't have a quarterback. They haven't, found their quarterback of the future. It's not going to be Drew Lock. But he's been a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
I would imagine most of the Broncos offense have been. I actually do like Lindsay in this game over Melvin Gordon.
Okay.
Falcons has these last 3 weeks or so since Dan Quinn's release. They've been playing inspired on both sides of the ball, more so on the defense. Offense has kind of been there all year. They've kind of been in games, even though they've been losing.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're gonna, put more pressure on. That's going to play more for Lindsey than Melvin Gordon.
Right. Yeah. No. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, man. What about you, EJ? You got any more thoughts on this game here?
You kind of touched on him a little bit earlier, just hoping that Tim Patrick, another person I have to play, and he had some real promise early in the year. He's got some talent, so I think as long as he's healthy, he still has a questionable tag, but I think he's going to play this week. So I definitely like him in this game.
Yeah, Broncos, they got talent, man. It's just I agree with T, man. Like Drew Lock, he's not the guy at the end of the day.
Yeah, more and more teams are finding themselves in that situation, man, where they took these guys and maybe gave them the mantle too soon,
right.
or it just was bad scouting. I don't know,
Yeah,
but these guys are. I'm going to talk about one of them coming up.
Okay.
Woo, he stinks.
Wait. But all right, next game. Now this is a game I definitely want every part of. We got the Buffalo Bills going up against the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
We all know both of these teams, their defenses are not what they used to be, including Buffalo. I don't know what happened to their defense, but it's trash now.
Tell me about
it. So I like just about everybody in this game. Chris Carson and Hyde, they're both ruled as out. So I guess I'll roll with DJ Dallas again. He's not the most efficient running back in the world, but he's going to get the opportunities as he did last week. He was able to get into the end zone twice. So that means a lot in the Seattle offense. If you just have the opportunity, like, you got a chance. So yeah. I like him better than a lot of other people. I like him. I might start him. I start him over some of them Broncos running backs, to be honest with you. I still don't know about John Brown just yet. Like, I would like to see more from him. But if you're in a tight situation or you're in a point where you're like, hey, I want to play for the points and I might need somebody who might get me 60 yards and a touchdown, he could do that. But he could also be a decoy as well. I personally like Diggs. If I had a choice between Brown and Beasley in this game, I would actually pick Beasley. I know he had not the best game last week, but I think he'll pick it up. And I just think this offense is just better in general when John Brown is on the field. And I feel like everybody benefits from it, including your boy, light-skinned Cam Newton, Josh Allen. I think this is a comeback game for him. So, and Seattle, you already know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, Seattle, for the first time maybe ever, like, the offense is just, man, it seems like there's nothing that doesn't work. Doesn't matter if it's the RB1 goes down, cool. RB2 go in, Hyde goes off. He goes down, cool. We got Ayo, Dallas. Yeah, I think he's on the phone. Dallas, get in here. He gets in 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And, DK catches everything, deep balls, slants, goals, Corona, everything. Like, it's a fun time to be a Seattle Seahawks fan. And I would even imagine even more times to be a player. They got things going up there, man, and they look to be a serious contender in the NFC.
Every time we talk about DK Metcalf, it just makes me mad, man. It makes me mad because I only got him in one league, and it's just, man, it hurts.
Yeah, grown man right there, boy.
Yeah. I guess my only thought on this game, just because I have Devin Singletary, I think you can still play him. Again, he's nothing more than a flex now, but with a few other running backs around the league, banged up, he's still a good play. And
Right.
I'd even pick up Zach Moss because they seem to be doing like what Philip Lindsay and like what Melvin Gordon are doing.
I think I'd rather play Zach Moss.
I'm as unsure about Singletary as I think the Bills are.
Yeah.
I think they're like hoping Moss, like they're like, come on, man, like give us a reason, give us the reason. Last week, to your point, they split carries and both were effective, but I think that's more of a precursor to come that Moss is going to get more touches because Singletary, sophomore slump, man. He's kind of hit the wall, and it doesn't look like it did last year. I don't know if it's again, I'm not a Bills guy, so I don't know if they lost pieces on the offensive line or if the nutrition guys changed. I don't know, but it just doesn't. It's not producing the same results.
Yeah, and I like Moss better by the goal line, which is really what you need. So I don't know. I still got to play Singletary, but yeah, I think Moss might edge him out over the next 2 or 3 weeks. See what happens.
Zach Moss actually has pretty much twice as many goal line carries as Devin Singletary, despite playing 3 less games, which means that most of Devin Singletary's goal line opportunities were because Zach Moss was not in the game.
Right.
So 2 of them are playing. He ain't getting it. So, yeah. So next game, we have the Tennessee Titans against the Chicago Bears. I'm going to give the Bears some props in this game. And, normally I don't like the Bears. I don't like watching them play. But at the end of the day, they're a team that surprises you. Like you'll look at the stats and you'll be like, damn, they did all right. Allen Robinson every game, like he's good. He's money. I feel bad for him. He's never had a really, really good quarterback, but he still manages to produce every time. He's somebody who I'm starting rest of the year. He's actually just a player that I would actually try to trade for Allen Robinson if you're able to still trade. Mooney, he's getting more opportunities as well. Tennessee, their passing offense is a little vulnerable. You can definitely pass on those guys. Darnell Mooney, he's more of a shot in the dark, I think. Who did we talk about earlier? We talked about like some of those Denver wide receivers. I think I would rather start Mooney than some of them because I feel like he actually has a shot. And, he's starting to get more targets. He's replaced, I forgot what that other guy's name, Anthony Miller. Yeah, he's pretty much replaced him as the number 2 guy. Yeah. So I think he's a viable option. David Montgomery, too. He's one of those options people don't really like. You don't really like to watch him play. But he benefited tremendously from the Tariq Cohen injury, which gives him, a few more targets, and that gives him more opportunities. On the Tennessee side, this is a tough matchup for them. I would bench Ryan Tannehill in this game. Interesting fact, the Chicago Bears defense has not allowed a QB1 performance other than Patrick Mahomes since November 2018. That's serious, right? Yeah. That's some serious stuff right there. So I don't really like Tannehill in this game. I would have to start his weapons. I still think they're vulnerable in the tight end area. So pause. So even though Jonnu Smith has not been great,
what happened to him?
I don't know, man. It's like he got that injury and they was like,
killing me, dog. You're killing me.
I don't know.
I can't even trade him, man. He killing me.
I was thinking the same thing. I've been trying to move him, but
yeah, I know I have a league with some. I told y'all, I was like, yo, somebody dropped Jonnu Smith. I was like, man, he must know something I don't know. Yeah, he did. Something I ain't know. Man, like, and the targets have been, but I'll say this though, Tennessee, they've been losing lately, right? They lost a couple games. Guess what? Jonnu Smith hadn't really gotten the ball. Maybe if we give Jonnu Smith the ball a little more, maybe we start winning games again. So I'm hoping that they'll be looking for ways to get the ball to Jonnu Smith, especially since Chicago is pretty tough on wide receivers. So for me, I'm gonna take a shot on Jonnu.
Okay.
I understand if y'all don't, but I'm gonna take a shot.
This might be your last shot, Jonnu.
It might be.
Like after this, no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys. Last week was it for me. I'll wait to talk about it, but for me, it was like been on a bit of a losing streak, and it's time to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, it's crunch time, man. We getting
absolutely
playoffs. If I could do a shameless plug, we will be doing a playoffs special very soon.
Absolutely.
EJ, you got anything on this game?
Nah, I echo what you guys say with playoffs coming up. I can't risk Jonnu. I can't do it right now.
Jonnu, what's up, man? What's up? Damn. All right. Well, moving on to the next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens against the Indianapolis Colts. This is a game that I want no parts of whatsoever. I don't want anybody in this game, including Lamar Jackson. Of course, if I have him, I'm going to start him, but I don't want him. If I'm playing DFS, I'm not starting.
Absolutely.
Lamar Jackson. If he's my quarterback, of course I'm going to start him. But I'm not expecting big things. Hollywood Brown, he's been making some noise about not getting the ball. Usually the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but man, the Colts got a good defense. So I'm not sure if he's going to get the oil, to be honest with you.
Right.
I think they struggle some more on this game, and I think that Lamar Jackson, I think his value is going to be on the ground and not the air, really. And to be honest with you, I don't really like any of these guys. Colts, I don't like anybody on that side either. Jonathan Taylor has been easily my biggest disappointment out of anybody who I've drafted. And I drafted him in every single league that I'm in. Now, he's been my running back 3 as a draft pick. In reality, he's been like my running back 4, but he's been awful. He kind of reminds me of like Tevin Coleman in a way, in a sense that he's got the speed. He should be better than what he is, but I think he lacks the patience and the vision. Like he's good in the open field, but like there are times where I see him, he's like running into the back of his blockers and just waiting for the play to develop.
Running up on the back of somebody's hamstrings.
Yeah, exactly.
He works better on the ground.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know that.
He would have benefited from a preseason, and I think he'll be better next year.
Yeah. So,
but right now, I'm not feeling him right now.
Yeah, man. Oh, how the mighty have fallen when it comes to Lamar Jackson. Seemingly they brought back everything they needed for him to be successful again, and it's just not working. It doesn't even feel the same.
It doesn't.
It doesn't feel like, man, we were right there. It just looks discombobulated, looks disjointed. It doesn't look like there's any type of rhythm with the receivers. Running game is kind of like not there most weeks, and he looks like a guy that is just trying to do way too much, and it's like how all of a sudden is it hard for you? Whereas it seemed like you had the primer, like you figured out the NFL and things are moving so slow now. It seems like they're moving way too fast for him. Kind of like it kind of reminds me of the guy behind him, like RG3. Kind of looks like, I don't know. It's just
a better version, but still,
yeah. I mean, as far as like once RG3 came back from injury and he was physically able to play, it just looked like the game had sped up past him.
Right. Yeah.
And he just was looking frustrated, just was looking like he just couldn't catch up to the game. That's what it's looking like for Lamar Jackson to me.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you got. I don't want any parts of this game. If you're desperate, maybe Jordan Wilkins, if he's healthy. I mean, he looked better than Taylor or something.
Yeah, he did.
But that's not saying much because I mean, both sides of the ball. It's sad that you can't even like, Lamar Jackson, somebody who at the beginning of the year I would have been like, start him every game.
Right.
It's
Set it and forget it.
Hesitation. I don't know. Just doesn't look good.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Well, EJ, take it away, man.
All right. So first game we got Carolina and Kansas City. For Kansas City, I'm starting the usual suspects. Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek. The one thing I am paying attention to this week, and I didn't realize this, Carolina actually has a decent pass defense.
And okay.
So Hardman has been playing pretty well. I would not play him this week, but I'm definitely playing everybody else. And I don't like the Chiefs running backs for the simple fact that I think they're going to throw the ball all over the place. Not that they're bad or anything, just probably not the game for them. On the other side, Carolina, I think is going to be interesting this week. Wondering what they are going to look like as far as, them running the ball, with, I guess, is McCaffrey playing or?
He's playing.
So
he's playing.
I don't know, man. Kansas City, like, I never thought I would say this, but like, their defense is, especially when it comes to passing the ball. So I think, he's going to get some love just off the fact that teams are really not throwing well against them.
Yeah.
I don't like Carolina's receivers this week. And I think if you do play them, they're going to end up giving you a Braxton Berrios game. You're going to get 7 or 8 catches, but for 30 yards. So I don't know, man. I never thought their defense would play like this, but like, it's hard to throw on them. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts just on this game so far.
So, yeah, for me, if Christian McCaffrey's playing, I gotta play him. He's Christian McCaffrey. They'll find creative ways to get him the ball. Like you said, it's been tough to pass on KC. So guess who you're gonna have to get it to? You're gonna have to get the ball to the running back. So he's gonna get his opportunities. Mike Davis is still gonna be in the picture. He'll get his opportunities as well. On the KC side, actually, we'll try the running backs. I don't know how the running back situation is going to be, but Carolina is just so bad against the running backs that I got to give them a shot. I have both of those guys in different leagues. I'm definitely starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Le'Veon Bell, if I'm in a pinch, if I'm in a situation in which I need a starting running back, I'll roll with Le'Veon Bell.
Okay. Let me jump in here on that.
Carolina's run defense is so bad.
So the Jets are arguably the worst team in football. And it won't be much of an argument. So are they looking like some genius for just walk? Because, I mean, he hasn't looked impressive at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like obviously they took the cap hit, but I guess they said, you know what, I'd be damned if I'm gonna take the cap hit, pay you and you terrible. I'd rather get rid of you and take the cap hit. But Edwards-Helaire looked like he was about to be, supplanted, but they can't at this point. Bell doesn't look like he's, an every down back, and it just doesn't look like he has it in him anymore. I don't know what's going on.
It really doesn't. I like him in this game really for goal line opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Edwards-Helaire has not been able to deliver in those opportunities. I think Carolina's defense is so bad against the run that I think that Bell, if given the chance, he'll be able to punch one in.
Okay.
That's it. If it was against any other team, if it was against any other higher ranked run defense, I would be like, no. But since it's Carolina, I'm gonna say yes on that one.
Okay. Well, now next game we got the Lions and the Vikings, and I guess I just found this out yesterday. Matt Stafford is on the COVID
COVID list, yeah.
So this definitely throws a little wrench in what I had thought about this game. But even given that, I'm still playing TJ Hawkinson. And I like Marvin Jones in this game also, especially with Galladay being banged up. I will tell you, I don't know who's going to be throwing the ball to them. But
Right.
one thing I do know is that Minnesota against the pass, they are not that good. I looked something up. They're actually allowing the third most yards per pass attempt in the league. So I feel pretty good about Detroit's receivers, regardless of who their quarterback is. As long as, he's not, I don't know, as long as he's not one of those guys on the Jets, I think he'll be all right. Also in this game, really, a few weeks ago, I thought DeAndre Swift, I thought he was going to come around and show a little bit something, but I don't know. I just don't like him in this game. He still has to split carries with Peterson, and Minnesota is kind of middle of the road against the run. So not too high on him this week. And as for the Vikings, so I watched the highlights of that game. Dalvin Cook.
He's a bad man.
And I think he's going off again. I mean, the Lions last week couldn't stop Jordan Wilkins.
Right.
So I think they're going to get gashed again. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 120 and 2 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns, 400 yards.
Yeah, exactly. That's not out of the realm of possibilities, by the way.
I mean, did you see Todd Gurley just slicing through the interior defense like he was a spring chicken a couple of weeks ago?
Exactly. So
slicing through.
I think he's about to go off again. And then I think Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson will bounce back this week. Just looking at the pass defense, I don't know, Detroit's pass defense last week against the Colts was brutal. So I think, I'm looking for them, to bounce back. And then also last week's game, when Minnesota was playing Green Bay, they just, didn't really have to throw the ball, and it wasn't really working. So I think that's going to change this week. So I like Thielen, and I think you could probably give Jefferson a shot too.
Yeah, I agree.
I need Jefferson to come back to this anointed one form that we have been bestowing on him the better part of this year. He's good enough. I don't know. Again, Cousins is just not not the answer for most weeks, and I think that's retarding his growth. Quarterback play, man. He makes really bad decisions, but I need him to overcome that and get in the game.
Yeah, I think this is a Dalvin Cook game again. I think that players like Justin Jefferson, they are good when it comes to Kirk Cousins when they're in comeback mode. That's what Kirk Cousins is, like the king of garbage time, king of trying to come back. And I think that's when those guys really do have the most value, is when they're playing against a more elite offense. So we're talking about a Detroit Lions team that doesn't even have Matthew Stafford or Kenny Galladay. So I'm a little scared of Justin Jefferson in this game here, and I'm a little scared of Marvin Jones too. And the only reason why is because you just never know with a backup quarterback. Like a backup quarterback, they practice with like the number 3 guy, and then the number 3 guy ends up being the number 1 guy. And you're like, really? This dude? Like, look at the 49ers last night. I mean, you got this.
He has rapport with the third wide receiver.
Yeah. And the dude gets 184 yards and a touchdown. And it's like, really?
Like, that's my guy. That's my guy.
So I wouldn't even be surprised if Marvin Hall has a better game than Marvin Jones. So I'm staying away.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But let's go ahead and get one more game in for this episode here.
Gotcha. So last one for this one, got the Giants and the Washington football team. For the Giants, I like Sterling Shepard. I had drafted him earlier this year, dropped him, and then re-picked him up again. Um, really like him in this game. He's actually seen 18 targets over the last 2 games. So I expect him to have, a decent game. And then I guess the other player on their team who I would give him a shot is probably Ingram, only because Washington has a crazy pass rush. So I feel like that's probably Daniel Jones's best option, to move the ball down the field. It's going to be a tough sledding for them, but I think this is a game where Ingram is probably, a good, safety net. So I definitely like those two. I like them better in a PPR format, but in a standard league, I think you still got to play them. You just got to kind of temper your expectations. And for me, normally do not talk about defenses, but you two had talked about it earlier this year. Yo, this Washington defense, I completely man, I'm pissed because I have Buffalo's defense, and I've been losing so many points from that these last few weeks. Mm-hmm. And I wish I would have picked up Washington's defense.
Well, guess what? I have the Buffalo defense, and who did I pick up this week for streaming? The Washington football team.
Better believe it. If they are out there, because they're out there in a lot of leagues because they're Washington, so nobody's paying attention to them.
That's right.
That's definitely.
They were pretty good defense, man.
They really are. And we all know that Daniel Jones loves to fumble. He is so bad. I don't understand how somebody fumbles the ball as
small hands, man.
No, man. I mean, that shit is crazy. So, but yeah, I like the Washington defense.
Definitely. I was looking up. They have the 6th most sacks. They've allowed the fewest passing yards per game in the NFL, and they are tied for 8th in most interceptions. So, I mean, you need some points on defense. I definitely would go with them. Mm-hmm. And then as far as, their offensive players are concerned, I think you still got to roll with McLaurin. He's averaging about 80 yards a game. And my boy Gibson, who's been coming through. I mean, of course, that last game against, Dallas, Dallas, they are what they are this year. And New York is actually kind of tough against the run, but I'm still not a believer in Kyle Allen. So I just think off of pure usage and how many touches he's going to get, you still got to go with Gibson. And just with a few, I just know me personally, I've had a lot of injuries at running back this year. I used to have Myles Gaskin, but now he's on IR. So it's only going to make players like Gibson more important now. And also with Austin Eckler not looking like he's coming back. So a lot of my running backs are depleted. So Gibson is now the guy for me. So I need him to do big things this week and going forward also.
Man, you've been getting killed by injury.
Man, wide receiver, running back, but I'm still here. I'm still
here. I might be ugly, but I'm still here.
Still standing.
Oh man. So you got anything on this game here?
Nah, that's it, man. Just Washington defense should be out there, pick them up.
Absolutely. All right, well, that wraps things up for part 1 of our starts and sits for week 9. Make sure to tune in for part 2 that is also dropping as well. And make sure to like and subscribe. Also, make sure to follow us on social media. We are on Twitter, and we are also on Instagram as well at Fantasy Football MBAs. So, you guys have any parting words?
No, man. No. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. We're still counting votes.
We still counting votes.
Hang in there.
By the way, if Biden ends up winning Georgia, that counts as a ring. That counts as a ring to me, man. That's a championship.
That's a championship.
That's a championship right there.
We've made amends. We've made a sacrifice.
Exactly.
For the greater good of the world.
So worth it. Yeah.
No more 28-3 memes. No more.
None of that. All of that is done.
All that's over. I want to hear nothing else. We done our part.
Exactly. Okay? Yeah, man. But until next time, we'll see y'all later. Peace.
is.